I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. You just heard All You Ever Wanted by Rag in Bone Man. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. And today I went kitten picking. There's a little orchard in town that offers adopt what you pick pricing for their rows and rows of feline trees. And they have been around for a few years, but have somehow I have only just heard about them, as if they were keeping themselves a secret from me. Well, let me tell you, I know about everything that happens in this town. I've got eyes everywhere. Eyes in the skies, eyes in the dirt, eyes in the trees. I have eyes in the kitten trees, too. Well, now I do, anyway. The orchard thought I was buying cats. They thought I was coming in to help them. Nope. I was buying out informants, convincing the fruiting cats to snitch on their farmers as well as the patrons of the orchard, all for my nefarious deeds. I spoke to one kitten in particular that struck a chord. It was a Siamese cat, nestled snugly in the crook of a plum-looking tree. I hadn't noticed it when it first entered, but as I was walking under its shade, a paw swiped at my hair. I looked up, and lo and behold, a beautiful lady cat silhouetted by the light through the leaves. The wind gave a soft power to the trees and a movement to the branches. The cat seemed to make eye contact with me before peeing in my direction. Up next, What Would You Say by the Dave Matthews Band, and after that, Windows Are Rolled Down by Amos Lee. That was Ghosts by Bruce Springsteen. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. And the pest control substance was sprayed at the anthill. Sirens signaled, alarms blared, the chemical patterns that indicate danger shot out to all the ants in all the immediate colonies. It would be interpreted to a human as an assault has occurred at the north entrance of the colony. Death comes for those who stay. Do not look back. Do not think of others. Get out and survive. And the ants did just that. They scattered. Worker ants grabbed whatever they could, building material, food, water, something to make this survivable. The nurses skittered to the nurseries, wrenching the near lifeless larvae from their cradles. The air was turning bad. It was becoming hard to breathe, hard to act. The ants that were previously courageous grew limp, and the queen had a heads up. She was the first to receive the message of danger, so she got up for the first time in months and waddled her way to the entrance. She had to make a new colony, she knew. She knew the poison was nearing her, the bad air scorching the ground, cursing the earth, ruining the home that they had spent so many years building. And so the exodus had begun. Waves of ants poured forth from the hills that mark the entrances. Up next, Circles by Soul Coughing, and after that, Way Less Sad by AJR. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ, and it's a finger plan for a finger man. I've got 3 fingers on my hand. I grasp and stroke and punch and stoke in hopes a finger may awoke. I'd like some more than fingers 3. I'd much prefer more phalanges. My hand is missing several parts, and so I wish with all my heart. I look to text, I look to God, I know what's next, against all odds. I fold my 2 hands into a prayer. I speak to powers who do not care. I beg and plead to those on high, and in return receive an eye. This is nowhere near as planned. I have been blessed, but not by hand. I guess it's cool to have this eye. It's always pointed at the sky. It can see the flow of energy. It follows paths of entropy. I wish it could close so I may be free from this awkward eternity of glimpse and glances, prairie dances, long dead figures in romances, soaring skies and deep dark caves, the push and pull of midnight waves. I see the truth in everything. I know now why the bee should sting. I'd sting too if I had the option. I'd pray again if not for caution. This eye is a curse, its irony grand, all for the hopes to fix my hand. Up next, Bedhead by Manchester Orchestra, and after that, Crazy for You by Michael Franti and Spearhead. That was Come Back to Bed by John Mayer. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ, and insurance is as important as it is to have as the thing that you are insuring. Take the noble car, for example. It's a fantastic machine that's ridiculously expensive and requires further expenditure to simply use it. Now, though it may not be your favorite option, catapult insurance is an important investment, folks. If you have a catapult, chances are you want to use it, and you can't do that without the proper licensing and a guarantee that you are insured. See, I'm a little bit in the hot seat right now with the law and all. They've got me in a bind because a child climbed over my fence, picked the lock into my garage, and launched themselves into a quarry using my catapult. Now, the government is saying, along with the child's parents, that I was negligent to leave my catapult unattended, that my blatant disregard for the law is repulsive and I should be hanged. I'm not going to defend myself. What happened was a tragedy, and I am deeply sorry for the parents. But that thing was an antique, and was never meant to even be used. So really, I'm the victim here. My catapult was nearly 200 years old, and now it doesn't have the attention that I would liked it to. And the kid got grease stains all over the rope. So, really, I mean, who's the bad guy? Up next, Mood by 24 Karat Golden, featuring Ian Dior. And after that, Been Caught Stealing by Jane's Addiction. You just heard Deep End by Fo Shi. I'm Taylor Barr, your midnight DJ. And he took a bow and knew this was it. The lights darkened. He held his breath. He wanted to hold on to this for as long as he could. He never wanted this feeling to end. He never wanted to leave this stage. It was his last performance with this theater troupe. As far as he knew, this was his last performance, period. He had not made any efforts to get a job in the arts after school, and so settled for a menial labor position that paid but did not fulfill. He pushed the thought back. No, this is it. This is a peak of my life. I will peak again at some point. But he knew that wasn't even true. Nothing would get better. Nothing would grow from this. He stood in the dark as his fellow actors met with their friends and families, and as they talked about what they would do next, as they begged each other to stay in touch, as everyone else cried and hugged each other, he stared and contemplated. He felt tears well up in his eyes and squeezed them out, dabbing them with the corner of his frock. If anyone saw, he'd probably get in trouble for messing with the costume. He turned to get in his car and drive home, but there was someone there. His director stood at the backstage door. She presented him a flower, a single white rose, congratulating him, and gave him a hug. She told him he would be missed, and that was it. That was exactly what he needed. He threw his arms around her and sobbed. Up next, Drops of Jupiter by Train, and after that, Kyoto by Phoebe Bridgers. But before I let you go, it's a little past midnight now, so it's the end of my shift. It's okay. I'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry. Today was a pretty good day. Tomorrow will be even better.